small gesture, but Doug Williams being the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, with this, George Preston Marshall statue still up. It's really just such a contradictory, right? And I think it just ties into this whole when you stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag and you cover your heart, take off your hat, whatever you do, the end of it, I remember before sitting down into a very cramped, cold metal and wooden, desk was in liberty and justice for all. And we just, as a country, right, we just haven't lived up to that. We haven't committed to our promise. Liberty and justice for all was really just turned into liberty and justice for some. And that's what Black Lives Matter is all about. Where I know we slip back into political once again, though, Colin. But it is important. It's a step forward, and we need to move forward. It's time to move forward.
Yeah, time to move forward. So, the name debate, we're not going to get into it a whole lot right now. It's such a complex,
you look
frustrating
tired talking
issue.
about it.
I am. I started writing a couple papers on it. It's
draining.
It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. I did do a quick poll of our fans, and here's the name results for you. Would you be upset if the Redskins changed their name? 58% of our fans said they would. 42% no. So, I don't know. I'll leave it at that, really.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Sources came out today that some firms were trying to withhold money from sponsorship with the Washington organization, like Pepsi, Nike, some of those big companies. This is apparently not something new that's kind of been circulating around a couple times. I think it's really just pomp and circumstance, and people are just like, it's a pony show, We are outraged. You'll need to do something about your name. Change it instantly. Great job. We're going to send you a bunch of hot dogs, corn dogs, turkey legs, and those frozen cheese pizzas you like. Great doing business with you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a big subject to tackle. The Washington Post, when they released those articles over the past 5 years, about how 90% of Native Americans don't care about the name being changed. And then, there's a lot of people coming forward saying, well, those polls aren't very accurate. One, these people have been extremely oppressed. And yeah, it's not the first thing on their mind. And then some people say, well, hey, they're proud of that name. That's the adjective used when describing how they feel about the Redskins most. And then there's discrepancies on who these people are that they polled, and they didn't check to see if they're American Indians. So it is just a whole mess. White people, you're not the authority on this. The Redskins are putting money into some of these tribes, and some of the chiefs say, it's dividing the communities because it's doing good for us, but some people are offended. In other respects, there's all this confusion because it's like, well, hey, at least they're putting some money towards us. Come up with a better solution. So it's just a whole thing to tackle that, it's not an issue that just can be solved. Well, you could change the name, I guess, huh? Or put a potato on the side of the helmet. I don't know. All right. We'll get back to that. We will, because it's following us around too. We are Redskins hangover.
I will say, I spoke about it on a few podcasts ago. I said it would be foolish for us to think the Redskins would change their name before a state changed their state flag. And lo and behold, Mississippi, with pretty good votes across their both state Senate and House, struck into a new flag. So maybe times are changing, Colin. Maybe we're moving forward. Maybe people are starting to wake up.
I'll say this, look, if the name is, I'm not an authority on the subject, okay? And some people are making it a little more black and white than it is, I think. A little more A and B, you know? Oh yeah, just change it here. You know, it is more complex than that. But I will say I'm not tethered to the name. I'm rooting for the city. I'm rooting for the players. I'm rooting, for the organization and the community to do good and to come together and be a part of a community. I don't need the name to say the Redskins. I'm not going to leave and say, well, that's it. I'm rooting for another team. I would have done that a while ago.
Yeah. If we're serious about keeping the name and keeping the heritage and honoring, right? Our logo, our mascot was created, with an American Indian, design and consultation. We need to be engaging with those group of people. We need to be reaching out to them and establishing a connection instead of just talking about it. There actually needs to be action. That's what I'm looking for in this day and age. I'm looking for steps that you are taking, not what you're saying to me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so moving on to some more on the field stuff. ESPN, they're always, I don't know. Are they doing us dirty? I don't know. Maybe we deserve it, really. ESPN Plus came out with an article that ranked all the teams 1 through 32. They graded us, right? We came in 31st place. Now, these are based on Pro Football Focus's grades, okay? So I will pull those up right now. And there you have it. So these are from 2019, okay? Now,
Okay.
Chase Young has the absolute highest graded from Pro Football Focus. Granted, he's got 2 stars here because he was in college last year. He got a 96 out of 100. That's unbelievable and very exciting. Awesome.
So our best ranked player is somebody who has not played a snap in the NFL.
You bet your bottom dollar, buddy.
Boy.
Coming in next is Terry McLaurin with 85.7. He was by far our best player last year. Everyone else, yeah, go ahead.
What does this mean? Like 100 to 90? What is this? What does an 85 fall? What does he count as for that number?
They are considering players that are 90 to 100 to be elite.
Okay.
80 to 90 is next best. So very good. He had an incredible year. Dwayne Haskins, 67.6. Geis, he didn't play much, but 76 when he did. Peterson was down at 67. Some interesting Pro Football Focus numbers here, I thought. Braden Scherf, I mean, yes, we know last year was not his best year. Okay, he scored a 75. I mean, the rest of the offensive line was absolutely brutal. Chase, 69. West, 56. Morgan, 65. Even Jonathan Allen. This is where I have a little trouble with Pro Football Focus, and I know I'm not a professional, so I'd love to get some more professional opinion. Hit up our buddy Jackson, see what he thinks of some of these numbers. Jonathan Allen comes in at 60.5.
Wow.
Nick, does that number shock you a bit?
60.5. I mean, look, a lot of these numbers are shocking me.
Yeah.
How do you grade Darius Geis, period? Okay. Are you grading him on the amount of knee he has left? It's 60 for Jonathan Allen. Let me tell you, looking at those weightlift training videos that he's been putting out here over this off season, and if you haven't, you can check out our Twitter and look at some of that stuff. 60 just sounds wrong. I'm excited though. I feel like if you get some of these Alabama boys and some of these Ohio State guys, I think you can put that chip on their shoulder, especially with the pedigree of the program that they come
They're used
from.
to winning.
Yep. I think that's motivating. I think Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what these grades are next year. But the grades, they're so ridiculous, right? I'm gonna give Jonathan Allen a macaroni necklace, and Deron Payne gets a ring pop for 2019.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Yeah. 1 gold star. Half a cookie. let me play a little game with you, because there was a guy that we let go that I was upset about. Now, granted, I didn't really see the drama in him or the off the field stuff. We only heard of it, really, with
Okay.
Quentin Dunbar, okay? And then he left, and then he did get in a little trouble that they're investigating, so maybe they did make the right move. We got Kendall Fuller back. He scored okay due to Pro Football Focus, but I'm thrilled about Kendall Fuller coming back.
I
Let's
know.
play a little game, Nick. Quentin Dunbar's grade, 1 through 100. Where do you think he fell last year? Let me pull that. Let me pull that list up real quick again
Okay.
for you
Okay.
too, so you can
So
kind of compare. Here you go.
I'll tell you a little bit here. I'll take you through my thought process here then a little bit. Okay, so let's see. So he's not on the Redskins anymore, which I think instantly means he gets bumped up 15 to 20 points just automatically. Oh, he's not a
Yeah.
Redskin anymore? Oh, he's definitely better, regardless of what happens.
Right.
Um, Boy, Chase Young, who's never played it down, comes in at 96. Got Jonathan Allen working his tail off, and you score him at a 60 points. Wow.
Ronald Darby came in at 40.8. Yay.
Okay.
Landon
So,
Collins, 69.3.
oh,
Fabian Moreau, 52.7. Where did Quentin fall?
okay. So, um, okay. Let's see. Let's put him. I would normally probably grade him a 65. So I'm gonna give him the Redskin bump up, which is way high. I'm gonna put him at 80.
Not a bad guess. I don't think I would have guessed higher than that. He scored an 87. Like 87.5 or something.
That is armed robbery.
Yeah.
87.
Which is higher than Terry McLaurin. So technically, we lost our best player, according to Pro Football Focus, in Quentin Dunbar last year. Damn, that sucks. But hey, he might not even be playing. He's got, they're looking into charges on that guy.
Well, I don't know. Look, Redskins would get people paid. I don't know. We've made the wrong decision before. Maybe he lights it up, and I don't know. We get him back in 5 to 7 years on his last contract. Huh? That's what we do. We get people paid.
Yeah, we get him back. Let's go on some good news real quick. I just want to touch on this that I forgot about when we were talking about all our political stuff. The Redskins have started their own Black engagement network called Ben. You can follow them on Twitter. They also have an Instagram. Pretty interesting. I thought it was cool. I'm happy to see them making some moves towards progress. So good on them. Now let's talk about, Nick, a little bit of Joe Bugle. Joe Bugle. He passed away, unfortunately. He was a staple in the Redskins community and coached twice. I mean, he was always by Joe Gibbs' side. Give me a little of your take on Joe Bugle. I got a video for us, but I want to hear, what memories or what emotions and feelings did Joe Bugle bring for you?
Well, so I really missed probably what his strongest work was, which was the creation of the Hogs. And I will say I didn't grow up watching that. I didn't get to see and share in that excitement level of what they were doing and championships that they were winning. You do see some of the embraces on the sideline with Joe Bugle and Joe Gibbs. And it looks like those two guys really, really loved each other. They really worked together as a team. And I remember when Joe Gibbs 2.0 was coming back, I was always disappointed kind of with our offensive line. And when I heard Joe Bugle, the original creator of the Hogs, was going to be joining Joe Gibbs 2.0, well, I hopped in my race car and I just drove around the track. We had some good times. I didn't quite see it get recreated, but Joe Bugle is at least the architect or co-architect, had a helping hand in what was the greatest era of Redskins football of all time. So at the very least, it is reflection on his passing. But
Yeah, and the greatest offensive line of all time. I think that it would be hard to argue against that. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? Like, look, I've watched all the Glory Days tapes and stuff of the Skins' golden era in the '80s, but can you imagine being familiar with 3 Super Bowls and stuck in this awful Jim Zorn bullshit, and then they announced Joe Gibbs is coming back and announced that Joe Bugle is coming back? I mean, can you imagine the joy on people's faces when they heard that? Oh my God, Bugles is coming back, baby! Oh, we going to the championship! We going to the championship! Right? Like, people must have been freaking the freak out. They must have been turning red in the face like I am right now. Damn, I mean, they must have been hyped. Yeah, we made the playoffs once, so there's that. Yeah.
When he came back, I thought of that scene from Lord of the Rings, where Frodo finally gets his shit together, and he's been shitting on Samwise the whole time, and he turns around and he's like, "But I can't do it alone, Sam." And I just feel like that was the call that Joe Bugle got from Joe Gibbs.
Right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you have loved to been in the room? What do you think Bugles was doing when Joe Gibbs called him? Not, what was he doing? Just sitting down, drinking a cold one, watching some reruns of the Golden Girls or something? I got his feet up on the ottoman. Phone rings for the first time in a decade.
He did have a face that looked like he sat on the porch drinking whiskey from a mason jar. Yeah. Like with nothing going on, right? No radio, no TV.
Tumbleweeds.
He just sits out until dark, and then he goes in and goes to bed. And then repeats, right?
Oh, we don't know shit about him.
No, we don't know. I don't know anything about him.
But yeah, he always had that stoic look on his face, Yeah. And I imagine when he picked up that phone and heard Joe. Yeah, I'm back, baby. I'm back with you. You know it. It was exciting. Now let's turn to a guy who can do Joe Bugle much more justice than our jokes can. Charlie Casserly, former general manager of the Washington Redskins, Super Bowl winning Washington Redskins. All right. Here we go. Let us see.
That's a good picture.
I don't know if people could hear this video because I think my desktop was turned all the way down, which I just feel terrible about. Damn. Hold on one second, guys. That's just Collin messing things up here.
The most capable Sierra lineup ever.
Joe Bugle wouldn't have made that mistake.
He would have never made that mistake. The Bugs.
He ran a tight ship.
Did he make mistakes? I don't think so. All right, guys. I apologize for my errors. All right. I Got it up now. I'm going to play it again. It's only a minute long.
Attention to detail.
Here's the video.
I think his ability to communicate and to figure out how a guy learned and how a guy would adjust. And he was very patient, okay? And not only was patient, but he was a stickler for detail. So I think knowledge, ability to communicate, and just repetition and repetition. He would work with them forever. He had a great ability to connect with all kinds of personalities, whether it's John Riggins or Joe Washington, George Rogers, Timmy Smith. I mean, that was a whole clinic on adapting to personalities. Yeah. Mark May had a disappointing rookie year, okay? And Bughes really pushed hard to draft him. So the season comes over, Bughes comes in and says, hey, I'm going to have that guy out there in February in the snow, and I'm going to make him a player. Yeah, I don't know if it was snow, but he had him out there early. He got him to play. So, yeah, everybody loved the guy. He was a hell of a football coach.
All right, there you go. You heard it from Charlie Casserly. We said it a lot better than we do.
My old teammate Jeff.
Second time was
Jeff,
the charm there.
It was even better the second time. All right.
It was pretty funny hearing Charlie Casserly give his Joe Bugle impression there. I was gonna have him out in the snow. I like Charlie Casserly. R.I.P. Joe Bugle. You're a legend, a Redskin legend. Sad to hear you go. Seemed like he lived a pretty solid life. So I know he brought a lot of smiles to a lot of faces, wearing the burgundy and gold colors. So. Nick, we're up to about 43 minutes. You got anything else you want to say on this live stream before we run on out of here?
Look, don't forget about JPP's fingers, okay? Jason Pierre-Paul. So I always say be safe out there, because if you're going out to blow off some fireworks, you might as well just take off your whole hand while you're at it. No, be safe out there.
Firework hater, you guys. This guy hates fireworks. He's an old cranky man. He doesn't like fun.
Okay, bedtime's at 9.
All right, you guys. Be safe out there with this virus. Shit is real out there. If you are gonna light some fireworks off, do it safely and just keep your social distance this weekend. All right, guys, we appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in to Redskins Hangover. We will catch you real soon. We'll live stream in 2 weeks, every other Wednesday. And this is also going to be available in a podcast form. And you can always go to redskinshangover.com to get some more info. For Collin Shoot in L.A., Nick Webster in New York City. See you later, my friend. Catch you soon. Toodaloo.
We're on Spotify.
Hey, there you go. There's the plug.